Welcome, viewers, to Bodhi Unified Flow. Here, we simplify complexity and amplify performance. Today, we're diving into an absolutely essential operational explainer, covering the 5S methodology: sort, set in order, shine, standardize, sustain. The evolution to success: safety, integrating safety into 5S. We're going to explore this critical shift from traditional lean manufacturing to a truly integrated, safety-first approach. Let's get right into it.
Here's our quick agenda for this session. We'll start with our intro and learning objectives. Then we'll cover the core 5S methodology, followed by the evolution to success: safety. After that, we'll look at eliminating waste and hazards, review some empirical outcomes and cases, and wrap up with a summary and our cited references. All right, Section 1, Intro and Learning Objectives. So what's in this for you? Well, by the end of this explainer, you're going to walk away with a really solid grasp of the foundational 5S lean methodology. But more importantly, you'll understand the necessary paradigm shift to success, where we actually make safety an integrated pillar. You'll learn exactly how this framework combats the 8 deadly wastes of manufacturing, and we're going to back all this up with real-world industrial case studies. Because, embedding safety isn't just a box-ticking compliance exercise. It's literally the secret sauce to creating a world-class, hazard-free environment. Moving on to Section 2, the core 5S methodology. Before we talk about the evolution, we really have to ground ourselves in the original 5S framework from lean thinking. The steps are sort, or seri, set in order, seiten, shine, seiso, standardize, seikatsu, and sustain, shitsuke. This framework creates the visual and physical discipline you need to support a totally smooth flow of materials and information. Make no mistake, this isn't just housekeeping. This is the absolute groundwork required for high-quality outcomes in literally every single phase of an operation. Let's break down those first 3 steps, because they're really all about immediate physical control. Think about how many hours a year are wasted just looking for a simple wrench, right? Sort tackles this head on. You systematically evaluate every item, and the unneeded things are red tagged and cleared out immediately. Next is set in order, which means the items that stay are given strict, defined locations based on how often they're used. Utilizing shadow boards, those boards with the exact outlines of the tools, makes it instantly obvious when something is missing. And then shine. This means keeping workspaces and machines clean so you can spot component wear long before a costly machine failure actually happens. Now, once you have a pristine, sorted space, the trick is keeping it that way. That brings us to the final 2 S's. Standardize is about setting up hard, documented rules to lock in those first 3 steps. And sustain? Well, that's all about fostering self-discipline. It's the critical difference between doing a one-time spring cleaning and building a permanent organizational habit, putting your workplace firmly on the path of continuous improvement. Let's look at Section 3, Evolution to 6S, Safety. There is a stark contrast between the traditional mindset and the modern standard. Traditional 5S focuses really heavily on efficiency, order, and standardized cleanliness. And that's a great start, but actually, it has a fundamental blind spot. The evolution to 6S explicitly embeds hazard identification and risk compliance as core parts of the structure long before procedural standards are ever finalized. By elevating safety to its own standalone 6th pillar, you ensure that the efficiency and productivity gains you just worked so hard for aren't suddenly wiped out by the devastating cost of a workplace injury. Integrating safety isn't just some extra paperwork you tack on at the end. It means weaponizing your existing 5S actions. So during the sort phase, you aren't just tossing out old tools, you're actively identifying and removing trip hazards. During shine, cleaning is no longer just about making things look nice, it becomes a diagnostic tool. You're looking for critical hazards like an oil leak quietly forming under a machine. On top of that, 6S utilizes risk-based protection, meaning you're meticulously analyzing safety risks directly at the individual workstation level. Section 4, Eliminating Waste and Hazards. The 6S framework is an incredibly powerful strategic weapon against what lean manufacturing calls the 8 deadly wastes, often remembered by the acronym DOWNTIME. Specifically, 6S directly targets motion waste, finally ending that endless walking around just to search for misplaced equipment. It targets inventory waste, drastically reducing it by clearing out cluttered sites. And crucially, it prevents defect waste by eliminating the dirty environments and poor maintenance practices that actually cause expensive machines to fail or produce bad parts in the first place. Section 5, Empirical Outcomes and Cases. So let's look at how this plays out in the real world with a case study at a CNC machine shop called Tech Oi. Their daily reality was a constant struggle with disorganized tooling and really high machinist stress. By implementing the 6S methodology, they consolidated their tools into a centralized system. They redistributed cabinet loads for better ergonomics and added super clear visual hazard warnings. And the outcome? It was a profound success. They saw a highly measurable reduction in setup and search times, a massive drop in operator stress, and significantly better inventory control over their most expensive spare parts. Now, to mathematically measure this kind of success across an organization, industries rely on rigorous, data-driven formulas. Take the accident frequency rate, or AFR. It calculates the total number of accidents multiplied by 1 million and then divided by the total person hours worked. This gives leadership a standardized, totally undeniable metric to track exactly how frequently incidents are happening, both before and after they implement success. But frequency alone doesn't give us the whole picture. We have to measure the true impact. Enter the Accident Severity Rate, or ASR. This formula tracks the total lost workdays multiplied by 1,000 divided by total person hours worked. By tracking those lost workdays, the ASR quantifies the actual operational and financial drain of workplace hazards. It mathematically proves exactly why proactive 6S hazard mitigation is absolutely critical to maintaining a profitable workflow. There's a brilliant quote derived directly from our source material that sums this up perfectly. Without a stable, standardized baseline provided by 5S, improvements are built on shifting sand and lack empirical validity. Think about that. 5S, and by extension, the safety-integrated 6S, is the absolute prerequisite for Kaizen, the philosophy of continuous improvement. If your foundation is disorganized and full of hazards, any fancy lean improvements you try to stack on top of it, they're just going to crumble into the sand. Let's wrap things up with Section 6, Summary and Cited References. Looking back at our learning objectives, we've clearly seen that 5S builds a necessary, completely non-negotiable foundation of stability. Integrating safety to create success ensures that risk mitigation isn't just an afterthought, it's powerfully embedded in every single organizational step. We've learned that 6S actively combats the deadly wastes of motion, inventory, and defects. And finally, the empirical data proves that 6S genuinely reduces setup times while making the workplace tangibly safer. For those of you who want to dig a little deeper, here are the specific references cited in today's explainer. These sources from Adobe for Business, the US EPA, Duralabel Resources, and Traction provide the authoritative empirical backing for all the methodologies we've analyzed today. Thank you so much for joining Bodhi Unified Flow today. We're going to leave you with one final thought to consider for your own operations. If world-class efficiency is built on a foundation that ignores human safety, can those operational gains ever truly be sustained? It's a question every single leader has to answer for themselves. Until next time, keep learning and keep improving.